Wilson are back with a replacement for the D9 driver, the brand new Dynapwr. But how does it perform? Now, this isn't actually the first time Wilson have used the Dynapwr name. Previously, this was used for some irons that were extremely popular on tour. So Wilson kind of made that decision to bring the name back. And they've also made a decision to kind of switch up their driver offerings. They're actually offering two different models this year, the main Dynapwr and then this one, the Dynapwr Carbon. Now, this is designed to be more of that better players club, and I think Wilson are really trying to target that tour kind of better player market a little bit more, because we know they have loads of irons and wedges on tour, but they don't necessarily have as many woods. Also, as you'll probably get from the name, it's got more carbon in it. So we've got a little bit more lightweight sections. They can move that CG around and get it more optimal for that kind of lower spin model that better players want. Now, first I'd say there's quite a big difference in terms of the visuals over the ball here. It looks a lot more designed, I would say, and there's a lot more kind of visual cues and alignment features that you might see from some other brands that I think are very popular on tour. So we've got this quite thick like alignment line on the top of the club head, which makes it really easy to frame that club face and get it square behind the golf ball. And other than that, the colours are pretty simple, and overall I think like the colour scheme and the textures they've used just all sit really nicely. Now, in this model I've been fitted for a 9-degree head because I hit the ball too high, and we've got a Ventus blue shaft here in a 60S. Well, it went dead straight, so that's always a good start. It's quite interesting. It feels very different and sounds very different to the previous D9. I think some of that comes down to the fact that this isn't as much of a lightweight offering as we saw with the D9 series. There's definitely a little bit more weight to the club head. You can feel that when it comes off the club face. The sound and the feel are a lot different, probably a lot more strong, but actually I really like it. I think it's a little bit lower pitch, which is probably something that I would prefer. What I like about this is, although it's kind of targeted at that better player, it's very much kind of more on the low spin side, it still feels really forgiving and really easy to hit and just easy to get like carry distance with. So that I've pulled a bit up the left side, maybe not my best strike, but I still carried 229 yards, which is very much like an acceptable distance. And I feel like it's just very optimized. Like the spin's always really good, like in the low to mid 2000s. So that was like 2380. All the data that I've got testing it here on the range with Pro V1 golf balls and then also back home at the fit-in were really good. So consistently this is testing and getting really good data. That's just so good. I think this is really gonna rival a lot of people this year. I love the way when I hit this good, I get like a really nice solid ball flight. And even if I catch one where the spin like drops a little bit low, because the ball flight's so good, it kind of like balances the two out. I mean, it's pretty windy here today, and that ball flight is so stable. I've hit 4 shots there and 3 have just gone straight down the flag and just stayed there. The last 2 have carried like 234 and 237, so in terms of distance it's real good. I'm getting my ball speed I'm getting my ball speed up into the low 140s, which is pretty much where I like to see things. Now, I would say, if anything, I do perhaps swing this club a little bit slower than some of the models that I've tested. Perhaps the head is slightly bigger, so my club head speed is kind of in the low 90s rather than in the mid to highs. But I think in terms of efficiency, it's really good in terms of smash factor and the ball speed I'm getting out of it. So overall, in terms of carry distance, I'm not losing loads, and maybe I'm not getting that kind of really long shot that I might get, like maybe a 240 plus carry, but I am getting really consistent distance. So the front to back dispersion is really small, which is obviously really key for that better player if you're wanting to, say, carry certain hazards such as bunkers and be able to know you can do that consistently without having to hit a perfect shot to get over them. So in terms of that strategy out on the golf course, I think that's huge. I would also say, like, overall confidence is a big thing. Like when I put this behind the golf ball, it looks easy to hit and like it feels like it's going to be forgiving, even though it is a better player option. And a lot of times if you get that kind of low spin option, it doesn't look necessarily that forgiving behind the ball, and it feels like it could be quite hard to hit. So I think They've done a really good blend here of having something that is more better player inspired, but it doesn't kind of look terrifying to hit behind the golf ball. The good shot's just so good as well. Like, it just feels like it's really hard to hit it offline, which is definitely a nice feeling. Okay, I said I wouldn't hit a long ball with it, and that's just carried 245. That was nice. I mean, that data is pretty optimized. Got 245 carry, 140 ball speed, 2.2 spin rate, which is definitely where I'd want to see it. Also got a decently good up attack angle, which is going to help. But 94.7 club speed, 1.49 smash with a nearly 280 total. So that driver is doing a lot for me for what I am putting into it. Like, in terms of that club head speed, for that carry distance and that efficiency, like, I don't think I can ask for much more than that.